Okay, I was saying in Hong Kong, it's very difficult to find a boyfriend, to be honest.
As a man, you have a PhD in history, in something like you don't really make money with your knowledge.
Why you wear this
Yeah.
on the street?
That's so revealing. That's not elegant enough. Blah, blah, blah.
Okay, okay, this is like a choku.
When and why did you guys come to Hong Kong, and how do you think about this city?
Okay, I can go first. So I came to Hong Kong like 6 years ago. So it's like I finished my Gaokao, and then I just entered into the University of Hong Kong, and then I studied there for my bachelor's degree and master's degree. And within that 6 years, I also took a gap year, working in L'Oreal Hong Kong, L'Oreal APAC here. And then now I'm graduating from my master's degree, so I'm currently working in a financial industry in Hong Kong. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, both of you have studied or lived a whole lot of period of time in Hong Kong, but I'm a little bit new, compared with you guys' experiences. So I graduated from the mainland China for my bachelor's degree, and afterwards I moved to the UK, studied in Edinburgh for a year for my master's degree. And there's a chance, in 2020, and there's a very good research opportunity for me to study my PhD in Hong Kong. So I joined the Chinese University of Hong Kong as a student for my PhD degree, and that's why I'm in Hong Kong. And currently it's my second year, but still with this limited amount of time, I still think Hong Kong is an amazing place and would like to stay a little bit more period of time, and also to seek more opportunities maybe after my graduation. Yeah.
What about you? What do you think about Hong Kong?
Well, actually, when I first came to Hong Kong, I struggled a little bit because the campus culture and well, there's a lot of cultural shock when I first came to Hong Kong, like for studying. And there is a transition period when you go from your high school to college. So this kind of transition add together, and it makes me feel a little bit overwhelmed by then. But still, I think Hong Kong is very a diverse and inclusive place that whatever path that you are taking, so it's like he's more like sociological, anthropological, but I'm more like a business and finance track. We can all find our way here. So especially, I feel great when I work in Hong Kong, because in campus, you may also I would say like 70% of the bachelor's students are local students. But when you go into the workplace, so because I go to MNC more, so I feel like that my working experience is like quite international and diverse. So this is exactly what I like about Hong Kong.
You guys already talked about your current life in Hong Kong, and today our topic is about gender discrimination. And I would like to ask you, have you ever been stereotyped based on your gender lately, or maybe before?
There's always a combination, like in China, between art and humanities and science and technologies. So, you all know that I belongs to the left part, art and humanities, which in the mainland China, or at least in my family, would severely be considered as not a male choice. As a boy, as a teenager, as a like a young man, you should not like step into this area, with much less opportunities for you to make money in industries, including finance, including computer science, and also engineering, things like that. I have a conversation with my father, and I said that I would like to be major in history. That's my major when I was in college, history. And he said, so what are you going to do with your history degree? And I said, maybe a master's degree, and then what? And he said, maybe, I'll say maybe a PhD, in the future, if it's possible, if I have opportunity. And I said, then what? Then what? As a man, You have a PhD in history, in something like you don't really make money with your knowledge. And I said, then maybe I can step into the academic career, job market or something. And it just refers to me that then you want to be a teacher. I said, yeah, why not? Maybe lecturers, you refer to this as an option of being a teacher. That's fine. And he said, I don't know how to translate this in English, but it refers to the thing that if you have knowledge, you don't want to be the king of a bunch of children. 家有隔夜粮，不当孩子王. You mean this is the original, saying that I said by my father.
What is the attitude nowadays they think about your academic career?
Well, I would say there's a slightly changed, with compared with like, I would say 5 or 6 years ago, because, after all these years, I really do not have any opportunities to ever step into science, technologies, engineering, and mathematics, because I've already give all my knowledge back to my high school teachers. I don't really have the opportunity to do that. Even if I step into the business school like you, I can barely understand anything related to mathematics anymore, in a college level. So there's no choice for them. But still, if I, I'm gonna tell a little bit about this. So this is a comparison between anthropology and history in the view of my father, who has his strong stereotype. I said that I changed my major after I moved to Hong Kong from history to anthropology. And he says, so what's anthropology? I'll say, in short, anthropology would be a research towards human beings, human societies and their behaviors, their culture, their social structures, sort of things like that. And he said that it will help you a little bit more to be more competitive in your future job market. I'll say no. And he said, then why? Why you stepped into another place? So that was the time when I realized that for the next time when I had such discussions with him, I'll say that yes, absolutely. It helped me a lot. History, we're just focused on texts and archives and things like that. Oral history has some interviews with some people. It's useless, at least in his view. But anthropology, I would say, Dad, look, I'm doing the research about some sort of business activities. But he may not really interested in Dago, but I would say I'm doing some research, related to business, related to our current, contemporary society. And he said, okay, maybe that will help you to your future, if you would like to be a civil servant, because it's really interesting. I'm going to tell that I'm from Shandong province, northern part of China. I would not say that this is a stereotype, but still, there's a much more student who really wanted to be like a civil servant compared with some other places in the world and also in China.
Have you ever faced any stereotypes?
Yes, I would say yes. But before my example, I would like to comment a little bit on what Geoffrey said. He actually mentioned a lot about the gender stereotypes regarding your career choices, occupational choices, stuff like that. I agree that there are stereotypes about which occupation is more masculine or feminine, and there are also some kind of ranking. Probably you have heard of what is the most popular job of men and what is the most popular job of girls, especially in the marriage market. Because for girls, probably if you're a teacher, civil servant, or a nurse, they will think, oh wow, this is a very good goal for marriage, But a man, they have to be masculine and taking the responsibility of bread earning. So you may have to do engineering, finance,
Programmer.
yes, stuff like that. Regarding your if question, I think he did have a very good understanding of the current situation that female faces, especially in the academia. And for me, well, career-wise, I feel very contradictory power of two voices, you know. So on the one hand, my parents actually expected me to have the ability of financing myself. So actually, women nowadays are expected to be economically independent. Actually, so so my parents will support me a lot if I would like to go to business school, and in the business area, you have to like somehow you have to act like a man to be competent in that business area. And then on the other hand, they also a bit of worry about my situation in the marriage market, although my parents is already very open-minded. So I think this is very contradictory. So on the one hand, I have to be very masculine in life, feminine in life, but on the other hand, I have to show my my side of masculine ability in career. I would like to say another example of gender discrimination or stereotype, as you said, in life, because I'm very keen in sports, workouts, and all these outdoor activities. Okay, for me, I don't do lifting a lot, but I know there are many female girls nowadays. They like bodybuilding very much. They have different tastes of body shape and their figures. So they would go to the gym, but most of the time you see more men than women in the gym. And sometimes people think that if you go to the gym and doing like some kind of lifting, you have to put your body in a certain shape, right, in order to do this gesture, right? But that gesture in some people's point of view is like not a woman should do.
Not the best.
Not the best. Yeah, you're not. You should not be looking like this, you know. And then, so since I like sports very much, I do yoga. So I love yoga leggings. So in my off work time, I was like 80% of the time wearing leggings. But when I'm in Hong Kong, like nobody cares, you know. But when you're back home, somebody will say, "Oh, why you wear this on the street?"
That's so revealing. That's not elegant enough. Blah blah blah.
Okay, okay, this is like a choku, and it's not supposed to be a proper like pants that you should wear out of the street. Yeah.
You're trying to lure men.
Yeah,
Because
or
they
maybe
wear so tight pants.
yeah, or maybe people would like to say that maybe they're not offensive. They're not trying to be offensive. They're just curious. They said, "Why you do not wear your pants and go to the street?" But he said, "I am." No, you're not. Like, yeah.
Yeah, and also, okay, another sport I like is climbing, rock climbing. And when I climb, I usually like just wear a vest, and then so when you climb there, your arm muscle and back muscle will show. So when people saw me climbing, I was like, "Oh, is this the body shape that a girl should have?" They think that the girl should be skinny, and then tiny, maybe not very clear muscles. They think this is the proper shape of a woman, especially in I think in an Asian like society. Yeah, the East Asian taste, exactly. But yeah, you know, we all expect like woman should be who she wants to be, right? So I'm an advocacy of this kind of mindset. So when people have stereotype on my body or how I wear, I would just simply ignore. But it's very lucky that I'm in Hong Kong, so I don't think people in Hong Kong will comment a lot on this.
Definitely. I would like to go back to your parents' concern. You said for the one hand, they wanted you to be financial independent, and in another hand, they are kind of a little bit nervous about your marriage issue. Like, why? Why they are nervous about like when you're gonna get married? Can you really like find your true love, something like this?
Okay, I would say in Hong Kong, it's very difficult to find a boyfriend, to be honest. Yeah, I would say, but this is how I feel. Okay, I think a lot of girls like around me feel that Hong Kong may not be the best place for you to find a girlfriend or serious relationship, something like that. So it's just a statistical like probability issue. In the workplace, we are expected to act more like in a masculine way in order to compete with other like men. So actually, imagine that you earn the same salary with a man, and even if you're a very competent woman, you may even earn more.
Yeah.
And then, okay, so me myself, I don't really care about like whether my partner earns more or less than me, but you cannot control what other people think, right? The boys may think that, oh, if I'm be with this girl who is very economic independent and who earns more than me, I'll feel super pressured. Yeah, I feel that I wasn't showing my masculine power to the girl, but I don't really like this kind of like shadowing thing.
Why do you think this situation happened?
Well, I think it's because, well, this is a more anthropological question, but let me try to answer this. Okay. So I think economically, China has advanced a lot after the opening up. So the society actually require more like labor force in the market. So they expect men and women both in the job market. Okay, unlike the previous time, but in their mindset, they don't give the same respect and benefits to women as what they gave to the men. Yeah, so women nowadays have to shoulder up like two kinds of responsibility. One is to at least you have a job, and the other is you also have to raise the children, taking care of the family. So yeah, so I think it is not just a case that China is facing. It's actually the world is facing this kind of situation. And but what I want is that in my workplace there can be more support for women in work. For example, the maternity leave, even period leave, and also like I think and a lot of like benefits for women who are going to get pregnant or who have kids. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll say that you're absolutely right about whether economic issues would, have influence or the impact on gender equality. So maybe like come back to your original question. So why it is happening? I think if you really trace back to the initial situation of when and why man is becoming more dominant, in every single society in the world. I would not use the word useful, but they are more like have more powers in within the current structures, social structures. If it's an agricultural society, for example, so between the differences of the biological levels, male and female, they have different for example, their muscles, their strengths, and also females, they are responsible for the pregnancies and also the feed of next generations. Yes, reproduce absolutely. So in a while, with the development of male doing more works, at least in the field, in agricultural societies, they're they're containing and also they try to maintain their powers within this imbalance between productions and reproductions. But things been changed, in industrialized societies, because with the help of at least we will say machines, women laborers, they can produce as much as male, and even more in some specific areas. Or maybe I would like to say that in most areas we cannot barely see any, specific, obviously male can absolutely do much better than women. So I think if with the development of the society, also there always be people who have like different attitudes towards genders. But still, we can see like in a larger or a longer period of time, the problem, I would not suggest can be solved, but will be solved like much, in the future.
Yeah, it takes time. I mean,
Right.
the social norms and how people think takes time to evolve. Yeah, maybe slower than the economical
Yeah.
aspect.